Now that we've got a handle on how you can manage and work with your repositories, it's time that we start using them and start making some of our modifications, committing changes, and start seeing how our source control is actually working. The first thing I'm going to do is open up one of our repositories. Let's go ahead and open it in Explorer so that we can make some file changes. The first file change that we want to make is that we need to modify one of these text files. Let's start with the README file and make some changes. In this file, let's go ahead and add some text. Now that we've got some changes in here, it's probably a good time that we did a commit. Obviously we're not done yet, but we do want to commit some of these. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's open up the project. And now that we're in here, we have a few things that are available to us that we've seen a little bit before, but we haven't really talked about. The first thing here on the left is this uncommitted changes section. You'll notice that it has the ability to hide and show. If we had a larger history, this might be useful if we were looking through the history and weren't really committing right now, but wanted to see some previous information. Since we're in the process of committing, we want to take a look at our changes on the right. You'll notice the green highlighted sections are the new parts that we've added. And you can see all the changes. They're all preceded by these plus signs for all the added lines. We can decide if we want to include this file or not, which obviously if we don't include it, we're not going to be committing anything. We can also collapse this section if we don't want to see the changes. And if we had more files, we could do that with them as well, and we'll see that in the future. We can also choose to select or unselect all. And we have two boxes to commit information when we commit our changes. The first one is the primary commit message. And this is what's going to be shown most often when you're looking at this commit. However, if you have additional information that needs to be included that might not be able to display in some places, you can include an extended description. This is not required, but allows you to include detailed information about what was actually changed. So if there were some important details about the commit that needed to be in here, you could put the information in here and have a brief message that says what's most relevant. Let's go ahead and type a message about this so that we can see how we might use this. Now that we have a basic message, I'm going to include some additional extended description. So now I've got a more detailed message. Obviously that message is probably too long to include in the commit line, so we kept one short that just says what we were doing, and you might include something about whether or not you actually finished it, or if you were resolving some bug, you might include the ID or some other relevant information there. But you don't have to do that. It all depends on the standards that you're working with. So the next thing we need to do is click on this little check mark here. And this is going to commit our change to master. So what that's telling us is that we're committing to the master branch, which is the branch we currently have selected. And we'll learn about those a little bit later. So for now, if we go ahead and check this, we will have committed our change. you'll notice that that change is right here, and it's not included in part of the history yet. Now the reason for that is that this is an unsynced commit, so this change is currently only local. So that's why they're keeping it separate, and this is just a way for you to see that you have changes that are not committed yet. If we mouse over this sync icon here, you can see that our branch, our local copy of it, is ahead by 1 commit and behind by 0 commits. That means that we have 1 commit that we have not pushed to github.com yet, and github.com does not have any commits that we don't have. So we've got all of theirs, and they don't have all of ours. But we're probably not ready to sync yet, so let's go ahead and make some additional changes. Let's open up Explorer and take a look at our files again. Let's go ahead and change this same file one more time. Let's go ahead and make another file now so we can look at a couple of changes. So we've added to 2 different files. One file is a new file, and one file is an existing file. Let's take a look at what our commit change window looks like now. If we click on this Show button, brings up this information. You'll notice these started collapsed. I can go ahead and expand these, and you can see the information that we've got in here. If I maybe have some reason why I only want to commit 1 at a time, I can uncheck that and say so once I've done that, I can go ahead and commit this, and now you'll notice that I have 2 unsynced commits. You'll also notice that my README file is still here. I can commit that now, or I can go ahead and make more changes and then commit it. But I'm going to go ahead and commit it now. So now that those 2 have been committed, I want to do one last thing, which is to show you a little bit about what happens when you remove some lines, and we'll take a look at how the diff view on the right is showing us what's changed. If we go ahead and take these lines and just rearrange them, now we have some significant changes to this file. Let's take a look. So you'll see that it is detected that the files have been deleted down here at the bottom. The lines have been deleted down here at the bottom, and they've been added here at the top. This time I'm going to leave the extended description blank and commit. So now, if we take a look at the sync, we have 4 commits that we're ahead by. It's probably a good time to push these out, as that README file is now in a much better state, and we've included some additional information. So we're assuming that we're in a condition where other developers on our team are actually going to want and find value from the commit that we've just made. So let's go ahead and sync. Once the sync's complete, you'll notice that all of my changes are now listed in the history. Because of that, we know that they're all up on github.com at the central repository.